Now, if you're confused about what's true in this blizzard of lies, just listen to how a Trump-appointed federal judge rejected a Trump appeal on Friday. Quote, calling an election unfair does not make it so. Charges require specific allegations and then proof. We have neither here. Or you could look at the results of the Wisconsin recount requested by the Trump campaign. It cost them $3 million to increase Joe Biden's lead by 87 votes. Or look at the Trump megadonor who wants his $2.5 million back after the Trump legal team dropped cases for lack of evidence. Look, there are two options here. One is that the president is lying. And this would be in keeping with the more than 23,000 false or misleading claims he's made in office. It would also mean that he is playing his supporters for fools. Second is that Trump really believes he won, despite all the evidence. And if the president's massive yet fragile ego obscures his ability to recognize reality, then he is delusional and should be treated the same way as someone who insists the earth is flat. Now, if this sounds unfair to members of the Flat Earth Society, consider that a White House advisor told the Washington Post that Trump is acting like Mad King George, muttering, I won, I won. Nonetheless, of course, some sycophants are echoing Trump and inflaming the base. To date, there are just 23 Republican members of Congress who have publicly acknowledged Joe Biden's win. Now, this is progress, but it's still fewer than the number of GOP lawmakers who've tested positive for COVID.
Did you hear what John Avalon just said? So we have more Republicans in Congress who have tested positive for COVID than Republicans in Congress who acknowledge that Joe Biden has won this election. These freaking enablers are so terrified of the well of poisoned minds that the propagandist con man Donald Trump has created that they are scared to say the emperor has no clothes because they're afraid of Trump's voters who believe anything this man says. Like they were members of Heaven's Gate and they were ready to go. You know, La-ti-da and La-ti-do told them to get ready to go. They got ready to go and now they're ready to go. I mean, this is really twisted and it's really sick, but that's why propaganda has got to be made illegal in the United States of America. It is so dangerous. And you know, how many years have I said to you, one of the things that we need to do, and this is nonpartisan, everybody, or bipartisan, whatever you like, is if somebody is using their official office, like Donald Trump sitting at the little desk this weekend with the presidential seal affixed upon it. Did you see the little desk? Did you see it? It was tiny, like his hands. Really, really itty-bitty tiny. And if he's using the presidential seal or the Oval Office or the Rose Garden or anything official, and he's appearing as the president of the United States, congressperson, senator, it all applies to all of them. They must be under oath. It's the only way that Americans will get the truth. The unvarnished, all-important information that is true to them so that they can govern themselves accordingly. I can't tell you how many years ago I thought of that. I think it had to do with Bill Clinton. And just in case you're saying, oh, you know, you're such a flaming liberal, your side never does anything wrong. Bull crap. I don't like being lied to. America cannot afford to be lied to in the winter of COVID. And what we got here is a president who's willing to lie about life and death decisions that people need to make in the winter of COVID. Now, here's another fun thing that happened. Okay, just so you know how hard you're being lied to by this particular administration. I mean, this is just unprecedented lying. This is life and death lies. This is lies about the situation, we find ourselves in. It's about democracy, about a free and fair election, about whether or not we're a third world country, about whether or not leaders called him up and congratulated him, or leaders called him up and said that was the most effed up election we'd ever seen. Whatever his lie at the moment is, this pales in comparison. The Clinton lie that got me so enraged all those years ago. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, Miss Lewinsky. And then indeed I did have an inappropriate relationship with Miss Lewinsky, right? That did it in, I was like, wow, sick of being lied to. But these lies are so weighty. They have to do with whether or not people are going to vote, whether or not they believe that America still can have free and fair elections, which we do. It has to do with whether or not they're going to throw out, what the leftovers, let's say, from Thanksgiving might be. Is it going to be the white meat that's dry? Is it going to be the drumsticks that are too big to manage and they don't go good in like a turkey pot pie? You need the white. Or is it going to be COVID? What did you bring home? What are you giving to, your family right now? He lies about that too. It's so okay. So the lie before the election was the big lie about Hunter Biden's computer, right? Right. People like to just move on to the next news story. And I like to do cleanup. It's just, it's in my nature. And now with the COVID, wipes and sanitizer and spray and, right, so I'm very into cleanup. Okay. You remember that there was a computer repair man who was blind. Apparently he repairs computers in Braille. I don't know. But you remember that he had the smoking gun laptop, right? And on that laptop were emails, crazy emails about Hunter Biden and Joe Biden's foreign dealings, and that it would show that Joe Biden was a Chi-Com, even though Steve Bannon was arrested on a Chinese billionaire's yacht for defrauding his own people. Okay. Well, the smoking gun email report claimed, just in case you forgot, that Joe Biden met with an executive at a Ukrainian energy company, Burisma, that employed Hunter Biden while he was vice president and suggested that he could design and direct U.S. foreign policy in such a way that they would be protected if they protected Hunter Biden, right? Right. Well, Joe Biden's team checked the vice president, because he was the vice president, the official schedules from the time, alleged, and showed no meeting at all with anybody from Burisma. No advisor to Burisma, nobody on the board, nothing. So now Rudy Giuliani is on the TV, and he's, saying the FBI is all in there, and it's going to be a big money laundering investigation, and that there are documents, and that there are emails, and and everybody that's investigating anything to do with this is saying this is part of a foreign disinformation campaign. Turns out the guy who owned the little shop, the blind man, his name's John Paul Mac Isaac. He's closed his store and disappeared. He skipped town. No one knows what happened to him. But 10 days after the election, a sign appeared on his little shop on the door, and it said, "Closed for business." Hey everybody, this is a clip from the latest episode of the Randi Rhodes Show. If you want the full episode, you can watch live on Free Speech TV, Dish Channel 9415, DirecTV 348, Sling, Roku, and Apple TV.